Okay, so a typical conflict that might come up with middle schoolers in a group at school or in
Yes.
classroom or maybe even, in the neighborhood or whatever. Let's walk through what can we as parents also teach that somehow helps them when they get themselves in a conflict.
Okay. So, first thing we need to teach them is that conflict is going to happen. And it's not that you're a bad person or the other person's a bad person. It's a normal thing. And if we have a certain set of skills and understandings, we can handle it a lot better and get along with people in life better as a result. So what's the first thing you need to do? First thing you need to do is know how to calm yourself down. And that's where the deep breathing comes in. That's where another quick three-step skill I'll show you right now on the radio is, or on your podcast. It's called Stop, Breathe, Chill. So when anger strikes and you feel your heart racing and you feel your body tensing, in that moment you need to stop and not tell the other person, but tell yourself, stop. Then, next step, take a slow, deep breath as you're stopping, the kind of deep abdominal breath I just described a moment ago. Breathing all the way down, holding it in for a few seconds, and then slowly, slowly releasing it. Take a couple of those to clear your head. Then chill out a little bit more. Walk away for a second. Get a drink of water. Do something to distract yourself from the other person if you possibly can. Then, once you're calmer, you come back, and now there's a six-step process that can be used to work out a conflict. And by the way, I have these all on my website, learningpeace.com. Again, learningpeace, Peace.com. But this is called the win-win guidelines. So when you're going to talk out a problem, the 6 steps to take are, first, cool off. So that was where the stop, breathe, chill comes in. Cool off so your head is clear enough to really talk in a calm way to the other person. Second step, start from I and tell the person what the problem is. Don't start from you because you can be inflammatory. You can make the other person feel defensive. So, an example, I was really annoyed when you called me that name before, as opposed to, you're an idiot, because that's just going to escalate the conflict. Third step, listen to what the other person has to say and even say back what you heard. So if they say, well, I said that because the other day you called me a name in front of the group. Your job then is to say, so that's why you're angry with me. I remember yesterday I did say that. So that's kind of segues into step 4, which is taking responsibility for what you did as well, not just blaming them. So step 4 is where you're saying, here's where I was responsible too, because in 99% of all conflicts, both people are responsible in some way. Step 5, brainstorm solutions together and come up with one that's fair to both of you. So you both may need to compromise a little, but if you're willing to work things out, you'll come up with something that can really preserve your friendship. Last step, number 6, affirm, forgive, or thank the other person. So have a little closure on it so you can walk away sincerely having worked out this conflict rather than just a fake apology.
And you have these 6 steps on your website. Could you tell us that web address again?
Yes, it's learningpeace.com. Again, learningpeace, Peace.com. And the guidelines are called the win-win guidelines for working out conflict. And the calming strategy is called stop, breathe, chill.
Now, these are kind of negotiating skills that you're talking about that really would be great skills for teenagers, for young adults, in the workforce. This has a lot of staying power to it.
I teach this to every age group. It's, we're all kids inside, and this helps people from age 4 to age 80 work out conflict.
Now, let's talk about what parents can do, again, during these middle school years to really get the opportunities to teach some of these skills. They don't want to be brushed off by their kids. Oh, here we go again, another lecture. But how can we get their attention so that this stuff sinks in?
Great question. Well, it's best if you can start when they're really young. And the 2 things that will help any parent the most with any kind of communication skill are, first thing is taking at least 15 to 20 minutes every single day exclusively with your child, where you're just present for that child, not driving in the car, dropping them off somewhere, but preferably at the end of the day, maybe sitting down in the child's room or doing a shared activity where you're just plain talking. And then these issues can organically come up. You don't have to schedule it in a fake way, like, listen, we have to sit down and have a talk. There's a problem here. So if we're constantly in the habit of that joining together 15 to 20 minutes a day, that sacred time, we can organically weave in these things. The second strategy is family meetings. I'm a firm believer in family meetings. So if you every week or every 2 weeks sit down together as a family, or as many of you as possible. I know sometimes one parent might travel a lot and not be around, just so everybody else sit down together and meet and air what's going on, and not only have it be problems, but talk about fun things too, like, oh, what kind of vacation do we want to plan this summer? Or what would be a fun outing for the family to do? So talking about problems, conflicts, areas of upset, that can be woven into these family meetings as one more thing we discuss in life, and then new strategies can be brought up at that time.
Now, what's the best kind of format for these family meetings? I mean, how do we run them? Are they fun? Are they formal? I mean, what's the best thing to approach a family meeting?
Right. I actually have some things on my website about family meetings, too, so that's learningpeace.com. So best to have a designated spot in the house, and it doesn't have to be formal. It depends on the kind of ambiance and needs of your family. I know one mom said, oh, well, my girls love it when we sit at the table and we make it a little more formal. It makes them feel very grown up. Other parents say, well, we like to sit on the floor of our family room, and I'll make a bowl of popcorn and we'll sit around and it's real comfortable. When I would do it with my children, we would meet on the bed, on our big bed, and we would sit together in our PJs, and we would have our family meeting there. So judge it by what your family's needs and desires are and what works.
And any rules to keep it
Yes.
in a positive light?
Yes. So that's the first meeting. The first meeting is to sit down and say, listen, we're going to be doing this on a regular basis so we can be a more peaceful family and we can be happier people in life. And what guidelines can we come up with together so that when we're together, it works for all of us? So some of the guidelines that I would suggest are everybody gets a chance to speak. There are no interruptions. There are no put-downs. You can agree to disagree on something, and then we work together to solve the problems that come up.
We've been talking with Naomi Drew. She's a conflict resolution and peacemaking consultant, and she's the author of a book that's called The Kid's Guide to Working Out Conflicts. If you're looking for other practical tips about helping kids get along and solve problems, check out our Parents Tips section of our website. It's parentsjournal.com. You can also hear our weekly podcast or listen to other parenting interviews from our radio program on our website. Our web address again is parentsjournal.com. You're listening to the Parents Journal. I'm Bobby Connor.